Alright, what's up YouTube? So tonight we're going to be talking about what are the best champions to play in League if you're new to the game or you're leveling up a Smurf account and you don't have any money or riot points or IP. If you haven't played any games and you're not able to buy any champions. So we're going to cover that tonight. I've made a quick list here. So the best champions to play, notice the new patch here, you can't play jungle until level 10. Because you won't have smite until level 10 and doesn't let you buy any jungle items. So we're not gonna, I will mention the junglers, but just know that until level 10 you won't be able to buy any junglers, or you won't be able to do jungle very well. So I wouldn't bother trying to go jungle. Just go double top lane, then double bot, and one person mid. You should be fine. So in that case, let's talk about the ADCs. You have relatively limited selection when it comes to ADCs at the early level. But the best champions to play at the right as the game starts is just the free ones. So whatever's free at the moment is the best. That sounds really strange, but until you can save up to Caitlyn. So Caitlyn's here. She's 4,800 RP, so she's going to cost, or IP, I'm sorry, IP. She's going to cost quite a bit. Or until you can save up for Jinx, which costs even more. I would just go with the free ones. There's no other good champion out right now. You can go with Vayne, but she's so like, you have to do really, really well with her early in order to be good later. And I find that that's just not realistic most of the time, based on what your team does and stuff. Jinx is a very solid champion. She can snipe people with her ultimate. She does tons of damage. She scales really well. She also has a much safer early game than Vayne, so very, very solid champion. High damage late game, just like Vayne, but more mobility with her passive, better ultimate, and in many cases, just very solid champion. I'm not saying Vayne's bad, but I would say Jinx is probably more consistent. So, like right now, the free-to-play ones are Kog'Maw, Graves, and Ashe. Ashe is very good. I love playing Ashe, but I find that she's just too reliant on her team to be good. So I would stick with the free ones. Maybe like Graves is also very good. Kog'Maw's okay until you can afford Caitlyn or Jinx. So yeah, that's the ADC is kind of a tough one because there's really not any good ADCs right now. You know, Lucent got nerfed. Misfortune's great early, but she falls off later. Sivir and Quinn are okay. You know, Teemo's not really an ADC. Tristana's also great if you want to pick Tristana. She did get nerfed too a little bit. Her damage kind of falls off. Not as much, but she did get nerfed. Jinx is just very, very solid. Very, very good right now. So let's go on to top lane here. If you're going to go to top lane, the best top lane you can get if you're just starting off the game or if you want to level a Smurf account is Nasus. He's really, really good. You can also go with Garen, but Nasus is very strong right now. This guy, just farm your Q, play safe. It's the early games, they're going to go along anyway. People are low levels. Usually I find on the LEN server especially is that people are going to be smurfing, but the games are going to go quite long. No one has runes or masteries, so the game is, Nasus is great for stacking. You can build full tank, do lots of damage with his Q. He's a really strong champion. He's really cheap too. He's only 1350. So you'll be able to buy him after the first like 10 games or so. If you want to go top lane, you could just pretty much play Nasus and carry yourself, just win game after game if you're good. Another champion you can play is Mundu. Dr. Mundu is also good for top lane because he's really, really tanky. His E makes it easy to farm. His Q makes it easy to farm. Ultimate pretty much lets him chase people or get away from things. There's no resources so he can stay in lane without worrying about running out of mana. Very, very strong champion to level up with. I tried him in the jungle. Don't do that. He's very playing in the jungle without any runes or masteries in this new season is very terrible. So just stick top lane with Mundo. So let's go on to the mid lanes. The only mid lane I would recommend playing right now is Annie. Annie is just so strong. She can, for the early game, she only costs like 450 IP. So you can buy her pretty much as soon as you start playing the game. Her Q makes it really, really easy to last hit. Her W does tons of damage. Her ultimate with her stun is like game changing if you can land a good ultimate. By herself, just doing the R, W, Q combo, she's able to pretty much kill anyone with her combo if you're fed enough. Her Q makes it really easy to last hit. If someone's coming to gank you, you can stun them and then walk away. It's very easy to play Annie. And but doesn't mean that she's a bad champion. She's a very strong champion. She does suffer from some champions like Orianna who can poke her out of lane, but overall she's very easy to play. She does tons of damage. She's a very, very solid champion. And I would always recommend playing Annie as to level up a Smurf account, or as if you're just starting off playing. She's extremely strong. So we covered the top lanes, we covered the ADCs, we covered mid. Now let's go on to supports. There are 2 supports I would recommend playing. One is Sona. She can poke with her Q. Her Q does really good magic damage. Her E is good for W is good for sustain. E lets you get away from things. Her ult's very strong, so it's really easy as Sona to stay in lane, just poke the enemy ADC down with her Q and auto attacks, and just heal up with your W. And that's pretty much it. If you do that well enough, just walk in, poke, come, and then walk back. They really can't do much about it. She's a little expensive. She's 3150, so you might not be able to buy her, but I would save up for her if you want to play support. Another champion I would recommend playing. Sona is very, very strong right now, and I would definitely consider playing her. Taric is also extremely good. He's only 1350, so for a starter account, you could get him pretty quickly. Taric is really tanky. His E is just a guaranteed stun, so it's that simple. You just stun someone. He's extremely tanky if you just build a full tank. Armor is really good on Taric because it scales with his passive. He can also heal. You know, if you're doing really bad in lane, you can max your Q first and just heal people up. You generally want to max W for the damage and the passive, but he's a very versatile champion. He's very hard to lose as Taric. You know, those late game team fights, you just stun the carry, and that's pretty much it. You can keep the ADC alive by healing and usually using your items like Face in the Mountain and stuff like that. Your Aurora with your ultimate and your W gives really strong buffs to your team just by standing there, not really doing anything. So Taric's a great champion. I really like playing Taric. He's kind of, some people say he's boring, but he's really good for leveling up accounts because he's just so simple to play, but he's so strong. So finally we go on to jungles. Now I'm saying jungle last because you can only get jungles at level 10 now, because you can only get smite until at level 10. So until you're level 10, don't worry about playing jungle because you won't be able to get smite. So it's pretty simple. But once you get level 10, the 2 best champions right now is Warwick, obviously. By the way, we're on patch 5.1. So this is the newest patch as of 2015, January 18th. Patch 5.1. Warwick did get nerfed, but he's still incredibly strong. Clearing jungle, without any runes and only the basic mastery, so 10 masteries and no runes, he stays amazing in jungle. He does not get low with his W and his Q and his passive. He very strong. Ultimate, you can lock people down in team fights, go after the carry. He's good 1v1. He's so strong right now in the new season. He's also very cheap. He's only 450 IP, so he's just really, really obvious choice. Also, if you don't like Warwick, I would play Nunu. I've been playing Nunu a lot. He's really good. He got a buff basically in the new season because now he doesn't have to worry about getting so low. He's always had really good sustain. If you max Q first, he has a really, really good heal in the jungle. You go max Q, then E, then W. And you can solo dragon at level 6 with no runes, just 10 masteries for level 10. Put them all in defensive items, or defensive masteries, and you can counter jungle people at level 1. You can steal the enemy's buff. You can do dragon at level 6. You can stay really high in the jungle. You can also invade the enemy's jungler and just keep counter jungling them, take their camps and then run away with your W. So he's a very, very good champion to play. I would recommend playing him and recommend getting him. I already bought him, as you can see here, but he's only 450. He's extremely cheap. So there you have it. Now there is one more thing I'm going to show you. This is the champion tier list. If you want to know, what champions are good currently, what champions are maybe not so good, check out this nerfplease.com. This is the 2015 champion tier list. The guy who writes this is very good at League of Legends, and he updates this a lot. You can see down here he shows the god tiers and what's his opinion on the best champions are. It's his opinion, but I find it to be pretty accurate. I follow this a lot. And you have your tier 1s, your tier 2s, tier 3s, tier 4s. And then he talks about, what champions are quite strong, and he gives a good description of each champion that's changed, like Azir and Cassiopeia. So definitely worth reading if maybe you're not new, maybe you're just a smurf, maybe you'd like to read up on this just to see what's strong in solo queue. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe if you thought it was good enough, and I will see you guys in the next video.